Hi, I'm Mitch Gallagher from Sweetwater. This is Winter NAMM 2018 at the Anaheim Convention Center. Our good friend Jeff Slingla from Boss is here, and we have an incredible new flagship guitar processor.
Yes, I'm really super excited about this, right? This is the GT-1000, and it's the most powerful thing that we've ever done. And I'm so excited about it because, you know, for years we've been talking about, you know, in the amplifiers, I've come to you and we've shown you things, the Wazas, the Tube Logic. And Tube Logic really was a thing where, you know, just to get a little bit detailed on what amplifiers do, right? Amplifiers, they have this thing where we always think of them as like a domino effect. Like, you know, the signal comes in, then it goes first tube, then it goes second tube, then third tube. And through tube Logic, I was always trying to explain to people how in a real tube amplifier, you know, the smallest signal, it gets gained up, and it's actually the last tube that clips first. Right, and that's the feeling and the sensibility that we bestowed in Waza and in Roland, Blues Cube, and of course in the Katana amplifiers. But those could do that because they had a physical relationship with the amplifier. Because a real tube amplifier, the speaker is actually influencing everything backwards as well as forward. So, and that is a big part of the tactical experience that we as guitar players, it's quintessential to us, right? You know, you can have a great sound in the board, but if you're like, bleh, you know, you're not going to play it and love it. This product has what we call AIRD, or AIRD, right, which stands for Augmented Impulse Response Dynamics, right? It is the first of its kind to really, truly incorporate that springing effect, that resonant effect of the speaker and its effect on the transformer and the rest of the amplifier. So it is de facto the most fun, realistic experience that you're going to get. And it's super high quality because in this, it's a true 32-bit A to D, D to A at 96 kilohertz, right? And that's the minimum frequency because there's other things inside. Sometimes it even goes higher internally. So this thing is just a super a functional machine, right, with lots of power to it. The routing on it, I don't know if you can see from this guy, you can route in any order, 4 parallel paths, move things around. There's 5 different delays going on at the same time inside of there. Everything can be routed to 2 different buttons and effects and things like that. And it has a great feature which we call Stomp Box. Stomp Box is this. We've all got our pedal boards. We all love the thing. You ever get to a gig and you're like, I just wish that pedal was a little brighter or a little, you know, right? You just feel like you need a little more gain tonight because of the room or whatever. And you reach down and you change it, no problem. It's now stuck like that for the rest of the show or as you need it. You do that in something that you can save and stuff like that. Well, your next preset, it goes right away, right? Here you can define things as stomp boxes. And then anytime you touch one, you know, I just find that, say I've got an OD1 type distortion pedal. I decide that for my first favorite 4 presets, they're all linked as a stomp box. So now I can go in and change one, and I just change it across all patches. You could do that to an amp model as well. You can save them in a stomp box mode. So I can go there, and it's like you get to the gig, and what happens to many of us as guitar players, we show up at the gig, and the sound man comes up and goes, "Can you turn down the bass?" Right, and what happens? You're like, yeah, I can do it for preset 1, right? And then you know the gig goes through, and he's like pulling their hat. Right now, you just do it once, and it's fixed. Right, so that's an awesome feature to have in there. And you know, to have this much power inside of a single device, it's small, right? It's compact. It's a solid aluminum. Has just so many things available to it. Right, just thousands and thousands of possibilities.
Plus, it's set up to really be the hub of your rig because it has 2 loops for external effects. It's also got control out for switching your amplifier channel, reverb on and off. It's got expression pedal inputs. So there's all kinds of control capability for taking charge of the rest of your rig as well when you're on stage.
Yes, so there's a couple things that I would love to say about that. Number one, of course, there are XLR outs and 1/4 inch outs. They can each be defined as their own separate things. So this thing, where most products of this type are kind of more studio related or direct related, and don't have quite the means that you need for a live application, this is really designed to work in a live scenario, professional touring level live scenario. And so all those dynamics that we talk about, it's set up so that it'll actually work and interact with your amplifier. So like you and I both remember the days of racks, and right, and we'd go get that cool tube preamp, and we'd go get that cool tube power amp. And then at the end of the day, we ended up going back to an all-in-one amp solution, right? That was because there was interaction that wasn't happening between those tube systems, right? Well, this, you define which amplifier you're connected to, and it's anticipating the dynamics and everything like that and compensating for it. So now it's that whole feel thing will stay in there. So you can do, but at the same time, give the house its own separate feed, separate tuning and stuff like that. Really excited about that. Additionally, there's a function in here for changing the output groundings and stuff like that. Because what a lot of people don't realize is they get a device, and they put it on the floor, and they try to do 4-cable method. Or in this case, with all these jacks on there, you could actually do a 7-cable method, right, and run stereo and thing. When you try to do that, sometimes you get in some impedance problems. You start getting squeals or noises or buzzes. And I've seen a lot of guys, you go and you'll see their rig, and they've got isolation transformers, and you're like, well, you've got this beautiful box that's supposed to make it easy for you to travel, and you've got like a pedal board just for your isolation transformers. This, you just click a switch, and it's going to help you to get right through the situation. So really, I think the engineers did an amazing job trying to focus on all the needs that everybody have, right? And having products out for years like the GT-1000 and stuff like that, we've obviously gotten the wish list from people for years, and I feel like they really nailed it this time.
Nice. So it looks like you thought of everything. I mean, it's got all the features you need for live, for studio, for practicing.
I can even tell you one of the best ones. It is Bluetooth capable.
Oh, nice.
Right. So now you can put all your sounds and everything on here. All your editing can be on your iOS device or your Android device. So you can save them here. You can move them around. Right. So if this is too big for you to put in a plane and carry for your flyaway gig, you could just have it delivered and show up with your phone.
There you go. Right. Jeff, this is awesome. It has all the features. I mean, and I know this is one of the first ones that's really come off the line, and so it's not even loaded up with all the sounds and everything yet. I can't wait to get it back and plug it in and hear what it sounds like.
I can't wait to get you one too, right? I've been having so much fun, and of course, obviously we're at NAMM and we're just announcing the thing, so it's going to be a couple months until it's out, but I'm so excited for what it's already doing today and what I haven't yet explored and figured out yet.
Awesome. Jeff, thanks so much for taking time for the show. I know it's super busy for you, but really excited about this, and it's always such a pleasure to see you.
It's great to see you again.
And thank you for joining me in Anaheim. I'm Mitch Gallagher from Sweetwater, coming to you from Winter NAMM 2018.